Good morning. Why some children dream bigger than others, or why some of us have dreamt bigger than some of my friends. I had a friend in college, and many of us were not even aware about DRDO and working for it and things like that, but she had been preparing to get into it for since her 10th grade, and we did not even know. We did not even know where she went after the college. And only years later, when we had reunion, we understand that she was like a big shot in the company and doing really, really well, pursuing her dreams. What is it that was different in her, and what is it that we did not get? So the question for us is, instead of asking how do I motivate my child to study more, to do score well or whatever, deeper questions could be, what possibilities am I exposing my child to? My friend's father was as an officer in the railways, and he met many different officers, and he got transferred a lot, and he met people from different states, different language, different culture, and he brought in all those experience for his children, not just her. I mean, she had, I think, 4 5 siblings. And you can also see some parents who don't have as many connections. Children don't get that much of exposure. And this hit me recently when I read one quote from a father who's a very established entrepreneur. He started taking his son, 6 years of age, to the meetings because he had started his own company. He had liberty to do what he wanted to do. He would allow his child to just sit, for the child did not know what was happening for hours. The child was just hanging around there, doodling, drawing, listening. When they got into heated argument, becoming alert, becoming curious as to what's happening. So there was no special lessons for the child, no PowerPoint presentations, no pressure to participate, no exams, no assessments. They simply was sitting, observing, listening, and something profound was happening underneath. The child was observing the adults. Somewhere there was this thought developing. This is how ideas are explored. This is how people think. This is how people have goals. This is how they fight today, but they come back tomorrow because there is a goal to achieve. Recently, I was at an event where this person from a small town near Mysuru was awarded the 2026 Padma Shri Award for Unsung Heroes category. I'll share that story of his in the group later on. And he is about 75 now. He started collecting books since he was 20 because he had to travel a long distance to read, to get to some public library, to read newspaper, to read novels and books. And he thought he should make it a little easier and accessible for next generations to come together. And he started collecting books. He was a bus conductor to begin with, very, very minimal income, not really well-to-do family either, comes from agricultural background. But he invested every penny that he got from his salary, set aside with like 51 years or so plus going on, maybe, with one intention to get the rarest of the rare books accessible, to make it accessible to people. And he has collected over 20 lakh books. People have donated. He has been given many, many different awards. People have given some money, space, whatever. He is able to display house about 10 lakh books. He still needs more space. And it was amazing to listen to him. It is no less of a feat when children are in the environment of such people. My brother in law made an effort to take his children, his grandchildren, to meet him. Just sit and listen to him. That life experience, no preparation was required. To that particular event, there was also another great personality who had come, who had prepared what to speak. But this person, no preparation. His life spoke. So, somewhere, children experiencing such people understand that process is important. Putting that effort is important because children need living examples. When they look up to such people, they start dreaming something bigger, not because I told them to become something, but because they observed it. Right? So there are lots of such living examples. But my effort as a parent is to take my children so they see the living conditions of such people. How do they work? How do they get up? What do they do? What do they talk? So the intention is not to teach to become like them, but the process to become, to normalize that ambitious thinking. 20-year-old Mr. Ankegowda with no money, with no foreseeable future for a librarian or books or anybody interested in reading, because of his interest or the benefit that he got from reading, he wanted to bring it to the public. He dedicated his life. That is normalizing ambitious thinking. It's not that you cannot do it, forget it, nobody will use it. Do what everybody is doing. Right? That is not how children begin to dream big. It's somewhere coming in contact with such people. I have a cousin who is into social work. He does a lot of gardening projects, meeting community leaders for reviving temples and things like that. A lot of the social activities. He invites all these people to his home, and his children participate in serving them, hosting them, seating them, waiting on them, right? Arranging the space, all the things needed to host. And meanwhile, these people are sitting there and talking about their new project, what are new kinds of these plants that they can plant so it will be faster growth and better yield or whatever. They are creating that environment where children are simply listening. They may be judging them also. But when they see the passion, when this happens over and over and over, that atmosphere that is created around the child begins to shape the identity of the child. This the present day or majority of the families, we pay attention to enrolling my children in competitions, even schools, they like to compete with inter-school competition and whatnot, but rather than bringing these great people for children to experience. One of the principals I know, he used to take his school children to the great writers' homes. It was like monthly visit to a freedom fighter's home. Or, as part of one of those projects, my daughter had visited this brilliant lady, Salu Marada Timmakka is what she's called in Karnataka. Her name is Timmakka. And Salu Mara means rows, trees in rows. This lady took upon herself to plant hundreds of trees along the roadsides to provide shelter. She used to carry water in pots to water these when they were still very young. She was also recognized and given, I think, Indira Priyadarshini Award. But my daughter visiting her home, very humble, small home, filled with awards, but very small village home. And she was no different, wearing the same cotton sari and sitting the same way. And she's like, instead of all these awards, can they give me more money so we can plant more trees? Can they give me like a small vehicle where we could carry water to these distant roadside trees and water them? So she was still thinking rather than gloating in all the awards she got. So if parents can make this effort to take children, identify such people, take them, they're unsung heroes. Not many people know. I'm sure there are a lot of people around me, but I need to put effort to talk, to connect, to get to know. There are a lot of people these days around here making organic jaggery, using organic farming, the struggles that they go through, but they still have stuck to it. One of my teachers shared long time ago, they made organic jaggery because his father believed in organic components, and it was black, dark, people would not buy. They made like 80 those molds, and they used as much as they could. Nobody would buy. They eventually had to put it to trash to recycle, and it became organic manure. But now things have changed. We can go talk to them because children need to see, witness someone who is passionately pursuing a life's mission, not scattered, lost in earning what is required for me today. Right? So these impressions that children go through become part of our individual inner worlds. It is like sowing a seed in the child's deep soul. So it will become a field of possibility for the child. And when we create that possibility, they definitely dream bigger, different, larger than life dreams. So allow your child to meet artists, farmers, scientists, teachers, any of them, social workers, musicians, researchers, lots of people are there. All these small shops you see around, somebody wanted to bring a certain change in the society, and they went against the road standard formula. So when we take children into these environments, they inherit the qualities of that environment. So the greatest gift that I can offer my children is not a predetermined path. It's not that path that everybody takes. There's nothing wrong in it. But then if I want my child to fully experience their own potential, to go break their own barriers and grow high, taking care of themselves, along with it, taking care of the society, I need to give them that environment, wide open horizon, full of possibilities. That is when, that is why my friend could dream bigger. And I see a huge possibility there. So do your best. Thank you.